Horizontals do not intersect.
I disagree with that.
Well, surveying wouldn't work if horizontals intersected. Because
You have to take it into account.
You don't. You do not take it into account that the horizontals are intersecting. That is what you would call a knackered level. It wouldn't make it past the 2 peg test at the beginning.
Maybe not. I'm not sure. Depends. I guess it depends on your position.
I got your numbers right here.
I haven't used this equipment.
It's just as easy as 1, 2, 3. You have to open your mind. Imagination is all you need.
Oh, I haven't read the manual.
Don't take advice from fools. Everything that they say is in vain.
Deviates from truth.
Never take advice from fools. We all know what they do is in vain.
Like the theoretical drop would be 0.7 of a millimeter over 100 meters.
You can still make a horizontal plane, at least a limited area horizontal plane.
I haven't done any surveying, so I have to rely on reading what other surveys do.
I have a different idea of reality than you do.
Everything is relative to you.
I have a different idea of reality than you
Just
do.
have to say it in generalities. Just like those straight lines are curving.
I wish I have used one.
Drive down the road, don't you ever swerve.
Then I could say more thoroughly on it.
I don't know
And I have never used this tool, so I don't know.
where all of this goes. Never take advice from fools.
Deviates from truth.
Everything that they say is in vain.
Like, I can faintly see galaxies.
Never take advice from fools.
Deviates from truth.
Everything that they do is in vain.
I have a different idea of reality than you do. It will coincide on one point, at one point of which you define it from, and then it will be roughly equal to the other areas close by. And the further away you go, the more it deviates from truth. And the further away you go, the more it deviates from truth.
I know the game that you're playing,
Deviates from truth.
and I know exactly what's on your mind.
Deviates from truth.
You got your playbook, it's alright.
Deviates from truth.
Your model dictates what you will find.
I haven't used this equipment.
I don't know where all of this goes. Don't take advice from fools.
I haven't used this equipment.
Everything that they say is in vain.
Deviates from truth.
Never take advice from fools. We all know what they do is in vain.
Yeah. But my claim would be is that when you move to a different different place on the surface of the sphere, you have a different horizontal. That plane that you made before, it's still a plane,
It's not Euclidean.
but it's not your horizontal plane.
That's definitely not Euclidean.
Now that is scientific fact. There's no real evidence for it, but it is scientific fact.
I don't quite get what you mean.
Would they no longer exist? They cannot exist with the model. Oh, well, only one of the models. Depends what your model looks like, really. But the horizontal plane and line, as in technically within the Euclidean idea,
Yeah.
has to disappear. It can't exist within the I don't know, do you call it a paradigm that you're stuck in? I don't know whether that's the right word or not.
You mean like on the surface of a sphere, or what do you mean?
If that's what you want to say, yeah. You can't
Well-
have a horizontal plane of unlimited size on the surface of a sphere, can you?
Yeah, that's true. The contention I would have with that is that you can still talk about a horizontal plane being like it will coincide on one point at one point of which you define it from, and then it will be roughly equal to the other areas close by, and the further away you go, the more it deviates from truth.
With a quadratic function
Yeah.
applied to it. But that's
So
why
you
I
could
said
only
you can't really technically have a horizontal plane, can you?
Yeah, you can only really have either a roughly horizontal plane, which isn't, it's of course not really horizontal plane, it's more just close to.
That's why I said the Euclidean geometry. Euclidean
Yeah.
geometry is very exact, and
Yeah.
a horizontal plane is also very exact, because the plane part of it, right? The plane part is the Euclidean geometry part. The horizontal is the reality check thing, right?
Well, yeah, but as well, the thing is, though, is that even though a horizontal plane will never match up with, like, the ground of the Earth, you can still make a horizontal plane, at least a limited area horizontal plane, by raising the ground, which is usually what you try to do when you make a building.
Yeah, and we're not talking about that. We're talking about
Oh, yeah.
the Euclidean principles of a horizontal plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all perpendiculars to a horizontal plane will be parallel, won't they? Now, what is perpendicular to horizontal in reality?
Well, that's a bit of a larger claim, is in reality. I have a different idea of reality than you do.
Okay, but what is perpendicular to horizontal in your reality?
Well, at the point of definition, it's perpendicular to down, to plumb.
Yeah.
But the further
Vertical.
away, it moves. Or vertical, yeah.
Yeah.
But the further away you move on that plane,
Mm-hmm.
the further away it deviates from being perpendicular.
Well, is that not you sort of delving into the realms of spherical geometry and deviating from Euclidean geometry? That's exactly the thing that you just said you shouldn't do.
No,
You've
that's
fallen
me.
into a stumbling block straight away.
Well, no, because that's not staying in spherical geometry. That's just following the surface of a sphere. Because
Yeah,
if we're
but
talking about the surface of a
perpendiculars-
sphere,
All perpendiculars to the plane will be parallel. That's Euclidean,
yes.
which is why I asked you how big a horizontal plane you can have, because the perpendiculars to that plane will be parallel, and that's specifically why I asked you how big the horizontal plane would be, because perpendicular to horizontal is vertical.
Yeah. But my claim would be is that when you move to a different place on the surface of the sphere, you have a different horizontal. That plane that you made before, it's still a plane,
That's not Euclidean.
but it's not your horizontal plane.
It's not. That's definitely not Euclidean. Euclidean geometry does not have intersecting horizontals. It's not allowed. You cannot.
You can, because you can make planes from any origin point and with any specifications.
Not the ones that are perpendicular and using right angles with parallel planes, right? Which is Euclidean principles, right? Parallel planes.
Well, so if I post this picture in livestream text 2,
I've got a live stream on.
why is it not loading? I hate when pictures don't load from. Just gonna repost it as an image. There we go. There. So like you.
PhD Tony time.
Actually increase as you go further away, which means if you go a kilometer, it will be much more visible. And if you go like 10 kilometers,
That's not how
It's
you use
multiple.
the tools, right?
Yeah.
You do know that. Did you read that, Funk?
Well,
When you were reading the manuals?
oh, I haven't read the manual. I'm just talking about like how for math. It's just math. That's why I was talking to somebody who has the equipment. Because, as I said earlier, like the theoretical drop would be 0.7 of a millimeter over 100 meters. So I haven't used this equipment. But can you like see deviance below a millimeter in the scope in this auto levels?
Below a millimeter. You're talking about going over 10k, 1k, weren't you? That's what we were saying. You don't use the tool for sighting over that distance, do you?
I'm talking about 100 meters.
Yeah. Why now are you talking about 100 meters and not a kilometer?
Because you said earlier you only do measurements. You don't do measurements that far. And I have never used this tool, so I don't know.
Okay,
But
well,
if you use,
there's tools called precision levels, and you can get micrometers put on them. And yeah, they go to 0.02 of a millimeter. Yeah. Yeah, they do.
shit, that's pretty precise.
Yeah.
But are they like I'm talking about like
Yeah,
over
this is a
100
proper
meters
profession.
still?
This is yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
But if that, yeah, okay. So I guess if you used one of these tools, then maybe you could see a slight curvature. I guess over 100 meters.
But you can't. They use parallel horizontals. That's the point.
Yeah.
You don't seem to
that's
be
what-
hearing us.
Well, I said that earlier. They rely on the fact that their horizontals are parallel to make their measurements to get a elevation change. You know.
Well, when I read on it, I heard you say it.
Yeah. Look up precision levels.
When I read on surveying, it's specifically mentioned when you're going to do survey of long decision, you have to take into account the curvature.
So you've read it.
Yeah.
But I mean, is there anything to go with that, right?
I haven't done any surveying, so I have to rely on reading what other surveys do.
Yeah.
And they specifically say this. You're saying something else than everything I've read. So that's kind of...
No,
I don't know what to say to that.
All you've done is you've cherry-picked a few comments somewhere that have been wrote by somebody.
No, it's been... it's been read many places. It's not like one... I haven't read one guy when one guy said something.
Yeah,
it has been institution which has many authors, which have many surveys attached to that
And you'll have read all the
guideline
highlighted pages that say all of this, but you won't have read any of the stuff that says they use parallel horizontals, will you?
Well, so you're saying that it's a contradiction in the book, and they are wrong.
I'm saying you've seen a load of cherry-picked stuff. You haven't seen all of the information.
Of course, I haven't read all of the internet. That's ridiculous.
No, that's not what I'm suggesting. You're suggesting you've got your information from
I've
surveying
from a certain guideline or surveying manuals, and I've read them. That's what I've done.
Yeah. Did you hear or see any of the bits within those manuals that said they use parallel horizontals and the procedures they use?
It says so for a shorter distance, yeah. Because they're like
But how
roughly...
long is that shorter distance? I mean, what is it you're saying?
I've seen when you're talking about like bridges and maybe really long buildings or stuff that needs to be very precise. That's what I read. Then they need to take into account.
Like we say, if there's a 1 kilometer double run and they're within a millimeter accuracy, that's how these tools are made. The auto level, right? The precision level would be within 0.7 of a millimeter over a 1 kilometer double
but I'm
run.
talking about like the auto level, which you can I don't know what type you have, but
Yeah, 1 millimeter. Yeah, 32 times scope will
No, but-
give you a 1 millimeter accuracy per 1 kilometer double
Yeah, but-
run.
but what I'm asking you, when you look through the scope at something which is 100 meters away,
Mm-hmm.
can you like distinguish between millimeters? Because it said like you have micron scopes or something like that.
Yeah, the precision level has a micrometer on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the one you have don't have that. So then, how precise is it?
1 millimeter per 1 kilometer double run.
But when you see it, can you see like lines? This is 1 millimeter.
To the millimeter. Yes.
Are there millimeter lines on the stick
No.
that you're looking at?
No.
Okay, so yeah, that's sort of my point, right? Because you have to distinguish.
This is
between that.
no. It's not right. Trust me. You can go to the millimeter, right? Don't worry yourself about how that happens with an auto level. Yes, it's possible, and you have to put yourself behind it to look, and then you can be able to see that you can read to the millimeter. It's doable. Yes, definitely.
Well, when I've looked at images where they take an image from looking at the scope.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how far away, but it seemed like it's a bit rough, to be honest. Like, not like in terms of you couldn't distinguish between tens of centimeters, but definitely if there's like a centimeter or two away, a centimeter or something, it would. Yeah, that's like I would say that's looked like the. What you call it, the resolution of what you could see.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be limitation.
Right, well,
in
you
terms
realise, I just have to say, right, these are tools that are used by professionals daily, right? So what you're
don't
doing here
disagree
is
with that.
just imagine you disagree with it.
No, I am not disagreeing
Right, okay.
with that professional use it,
Okay.
but I also would know that you don't need to know the elevation to a millimeter if you're going to build a building. I don't
Yeah,
think
you
that's...
do. Yes. Yes.
That's not
definitely.
true. I work around surveyors regularly, and they have to be certain applications. They have to be millimeter accurate.
Yeah, a certain application probably, but
For
I would guess...
elevations, yes. Elevations is one of them.
Elevations?
Yeah. For elevations, yes. So you know the height of the water table, the height for drainage.
Oh, yeah.
That's the most precise you have to be.
Maybe. I wouldn't be able to say for
Not
sure.
maybe. I just watched one a couple of weeks ago. Had to work off a benchmark about a mile away to get the elevation of a foundation of a house so it would be above the floodplain.
Mm. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing, though, because in that case, if you have to be that thorough, if you have like, you would have to follow the elevation. I don't know how they would do that.
With the tool called a level that establishes a horizontal
No.
plane of reference, and they
I'm not
measure
saying...
the difference from that. It's called differential leveling, where you tell the difference between one level and another by the vertical change between the two.
Yeah, but if it was a mile away and you have like you need to be sure you're above the water ground level.
You do 10, 15
But,
transitions, don't you? And you get there, and then you come back again, and you will be to the millimeter. That's what they call a double run, when you go all the way out and then come all the way back again to be millimeter accurate. That's why you can call it to the millimeter.
Yeah, I would have to read up on more Yeah, I wish I had used one. Then I could say more thoroughly on it, because it's not like it's a very how should I say, like, interesting topic which everybody writes on, like very niche, and normally when you Google it, you find
very practical. You can't read about this or talk about it unless you've actually done it. Now, I don't want to sound like it's a big thing, right? But it's very practical. Like 90% of what you do when you're doing this sort of stuff is practical.
I would completely agree with you on that. That's seemed like a very and like all the with all the guidelines and manuals and stuff, it's like you can find all the information there. So if you follow those, you can find all the procedures how to do it. But then you have the
It's just practical geometry.
Yeah.
That's why I say parallel planes. That's how it works. Horizontals do not intersect.
I disagree with that.
Well, surveying wouldn't work if horizontals intersected.
Because you have to take it into account.
You don't. You do not take it into account that the horizontals are intersecting. That is what you would call a knackered level. It wouldn't make it past the 2 peg test at the beginning.
Maybe not. I'm not sure. Depends. I guess it depends on your position. When you do the 2 peg test, is that for like calibrating your equipment, right?
No, it's for checking
verification. Yeah.
Your tool is still in operating procedure. It's still horizontal.
That's a big misconception I think people have. They don't know what exactly is the tool used for, why, and it takes a while for that to like kind of register. It seems like you just water is in a tube, right? And so it'll just level out wherever the water goes, right? But it's a checking tool, like.
Yeah, because you can have like damage to it or like something like that, right?
Damage.
We're talking auto level.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be like.
Yeah, it could have been pulled out of calibration.
Mm-hmm.
In the back of the van or whatever. Somebody could have chucked it in the back and it bumped it. So you need
to be sure it works properly.
Yeah, so you check it every time you take it out of the box to make sure it's still working. You also make sure it goes to the calibration center to get its certificate. Like an MOT for the car. It has to have them in order to be okay. Not only is your word not good enough, like the 2 peg test, you need to have it calibrated at a shop. But yeah, it's not. You're not calibrating it when you're doing a 2 peg test.
I'm just reading what I'm reading on the internet. So it says there methods for checking and recalibrating a level 2 peg test. I don't know if maybe there is some way to adjust it. If there's some adjustment screws or something.
Yeah, George was saying that. I would advise against it. I'd say the same as I said to George. If you want it calibrating, take it to the calibration shop. They'll tell you whether they can calibrate it or whether it's just knackered. Because I would suggest that if you had a certificate from a calibration shop and you started twiddling screws about, you might invalidate that particular calibration certificate. But I mean, that's just for professional use, right? I mean, if you're just talking about, I don't know, whatever you're presuming you're going to use it for. I mean, it doesn't
I
really
don't want
need
to buy
to
it. Not gonna buy it, not the level.
What? You're not going to go up a mountain?
No.
Oh, wait and see how much fame Ranty
I
gets
have-
first, eh?
I have a telescope. I think that takes enough place.
Would
in
you
my
take
house.
that up a mountain?
Oh fuck! It's how heavy mine is.
Well, that's what I mean.
I would,
Would
I
you
almost
take it up a mountain?
No,
No.
it's too fucking heavy.
Do you
I
think
w-
it'd make a difference if you took it up a mountain?
Maybe in terms of light conditions, I would avoid. But I might as well just drive far away from the city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dark zone. Could you calibrate it horizontally? Do you reckon your telescope? Have you ever
It's
looked
not-
at? Have you ever looked horizontal with it?
I think I have looked a little bit. It's very exciting to look there. Just look into a tree.
far? Yeah, how far can you see? Or have you
I
got?
can see quite fucking far with that. If I want to.
Yeah, how far?
Emerge.
What's your record?
Record? I
Yeah.
don't know. I have like a. I have a triple. I don't know what that's diopter is called, but I think I have a. It's been a while since I've been using it now. I have a 9x plus a tripler.
Yeah, I mean, how far have you seen? Is there any mountains or anything in the distance that you can put a distance to?
Not from where I use my scope. No, I live in a valley.
Oh, so you don't get a chance to see that far then?
Not from where I live.
Yeah. Do you do time lapse of the stars?
I haven't done that, but I could. It's quite precise. It's
You got-
following the.
No, I mean, if you got like a
Stars.
wide field, can you do like a circular? How wide a field of view have you got on it, or is it dead narrow?
It's quite narrow.
How far north are you? Are you high?
55 degrees.
5?
55.
I don't know where we are. Do you get northern lights?
Yeah, a little bit.
We get it a little bit here. Much or how often? Exceptional circumstances.
I would say it's an exception when it happens.
Yeah. So what do you think of the telescope then?
It's very good for imaging. Its problem is it's very heavy and quite long and large. It's a refractor.
Yeah. We had one, but it's not that good, really, is it? I don't think.
The lens is change it out with an apochromatic lens, so it doesn't have the blue ring in the outside. It doesn't have that. Yeah.
Have you got a camera fitted to it? Or is it just
That is something I have been thinking about doing. I haven't done
just the eyepiece then? So there's only you that can see all the stuff.
that. The person who's with me, yeah. But
Yeah.
I would see more taking a picture though, because it's very like I can faintly see galaxies. It's like
Really? I've been told you can't see them until you get them on a time lapse photography thing. Like, because we had visions of doing all of that sort of stuff and looking at, but you get it, and then you get told, well, you can't unless you do a time lapse photography thing.
like I can faintly see galaxies.
You can't see any of those nebula and all of that. They're just not there.
Like I can faintly see galaxies. I have to take pictures for that, a little bit longer exposure, and also it helps to not get very black and white. There are a little bit of color in them, but it's not very visible. So you can use, like I can faintly see galaxies. Get out the colors using like photography. It's some color which is there, but it's not, of course, not as flamboyant as in the image on the internet. Like I can faintly see galaxies, and when you look through it with your own eyes, it's not visible almost at all. You can faintly see it.
Do you ever zoom in on the moon?
I've done that a lot. That's actually quite.
You can see? Have you ever tried
Zoom
it?
in.
To zoom in on the flag or the remnants of any of the Apollo missions or anything?
You can't see the flag boat because it's too far away.
Okay.
Billy, can you stop
300,000
posting in that other
kilometers away.
chat? Because we're in a live stream 2 at the minute. And start posting bullshit about what I haven't done.
He needs help with
It's a
numbers.
joke.
Billy, get it. See a doctor, Billy. Billy, go to a doctor.
The difference between 1 and 2.
Yeah, he can't figure out. There's 2 live streams and 2 text streams, and they're numbered. 1 and 2. He can't figure it out. He needs to go to a doctor.
Not only that, I invited him 3 times to come in, but he just won't do it for some reason.
I can see why he ignores me, because like he's triggered. But he can't, like, ignoring the mod makes it seem like he does have a mental health issue going. Either some kind of intervention.
All right, Crit. Don't fuel it.
Okay.
There's no need for that, Crit. Well, you can just say other things.
I gotcha.
We have to lead by example, bro.
Yeah, I was more or less just kind of having him follow his own logic. Like he's always telling people that they need medicine, but never explains what medicine. Or he needs
Yeah,
to
he
see a
does that all
doctor.
the time, man. I've warned him on that. Yeah, he does the medicine and the education thing. Yeah, that's his 2 things.
And yet he has issues deciphering live stream 1 and live stream 2. When they're numbered, by the way. They're actually numbered. But I got you. I'm supposed to drop it. I got you.
It's advanced maths, that, though, Crit. You got to understand. You've got to be really smart to misrepresent 1 and 2.
You see, Crit, when that happens, just take it as a sign that you have accomplished your goal. When they start doing that, it's over for them.
Yeah, it's that's the end of the road, right?
Like what he's doing right now, what he just typed right now. Poor Crit, blah, blah, blah. See, that's
Oh,
just...
I'm not even looking. Oh, I see it. Yeah, yeah. Chris having
in
an
the
episode.
other live stream chat.
Yeah, he's still in the wrong chat.
Exactly. So they're triggered, and that means your mission is accomplished, bro. That's it.
See, it's kind of weird though because they started triggered. I didn't really have to do anything. I just watched it happen. It's like a wind-up toy that winds itself up and just keeps going and going.
Yeah, all this chat here started because, what's his name called me out because I posted one meme.
Dawn,
that's right, yeah. And he's still going on about it. Now I told him, come in 3-4 times I've told him to come in. But that's what they do. No explanation. When you're telling them, come in, I'll explain it to you. This is their game, bro. They're trolls.
They can't go in the water. They don't want to get in.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed the content, please support On the Level and future projects. Membership subscriptions available now, or come and get involved at Next Level Discord server. Thank you.